Beit Hanoun or Beit Hanoun is a place where the IDF forces were kicked out multiple times, came back again to take over the place, then got kicked out again, then came back and eventually got killed, a lot of them. Beit Hanoun is a ghost town, it's a ghost city. There is literally now nobody living there because of the atrocities, because of the genocide. However, the resistance forces, they're still there. They're still operating, and now looks like a ghost just appeared. What do I mean by that? We'll discuss and break down all of it in this video. But before I move on, if you're not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. You do not want to miss out on all of these updates and details. I actually want to start with this particular news first from a different person, not the ghost. It's a human being, real human being. His name is Khalil al-Haya, a member of Hamas political bureau, announced on Tuesday that Gaza is entering a new phase focused on removing the effects of Israeli aggression and beginning the building process. What we understand from this is that their leadership is still intact. They are out there in public, even though Israel claimed they have pretty much eliminated the leadership echelon of Hamas. Nevertheless, we are seeing every single day their leaders, they're coming out in the street, greeting people with victory and giving speech to them. Number two is that this same leadership, they are now looking forward to the future of Gaza, not Hamas, also Hamas, but also Gaza. In fact, Hamas, they have mentioned that we are willing to talk to United States about the future. In other words, Hamas is not dead, they are not eliminated, rather it is quite the opposite. They are now talking about building the country and integrating into the international community. It is one of a chance for the international community, and also especially for United States and Western countries, to grab this opportunity, solve this problem once and for all in Middle East. Now, this is coming from Khalil al-Haya. Now, I want to share with you this particular speech from Zionist Ted Cruz, his U.S. Senator. They don't want to give up on anything. They're still holding on to the hope that somehow Israel can rule over Israel, Zionist state, and also on the Palestinian people minus Hamas. Minus now even UN, United Nations, minus UNRWA, minus all of the UN organizations working, operating, and trying to help the people of Palestine. I want you to take a listen at this speech.
You and I talked about the deep rot in the United Nations when it comes to supporting terrorism against America and our allies, especially Israel.
So he's calling deep rot. He's calling UNRWA deep rot, the entity responsible for helping the people of Gaza. He's calling it a deep rot in UN. Can you believe this?
As you discussed with Senator McCormick, UNRWA has for decades provided material support for Hamas and other terrorist groups in Gaza. The World Health Organization has also been deeply complicit in the use of hospitals by Hamas for terrorist activities, including for the holding of hostages. The complicity of these organizations deepened after October 7th. The Biden administration embraced UNRWA and the World Health Organization. Congress prohibited the Biden administration from funding UNRWA, but the administration officials circumvented that prohibition by using UNRWA infrastructure. Yesterday, the president rightly and immediately withdrew our participation from them. I think that was a critical first step, but the next step is to enable American citizens to hold these organizations accountable. We currently have a very odd legal environment where these organizations enjoy.
I mean, we lie, you call us out, you're a bad guy. We commit genocide, you call us out, you are a bad guy. We commit oppression, atrocities, you call us out, you're a bad guy. We send billions of dollars in aid and send them tons of bombs to be dropped on innocent civilian children and women. You call us out, you're a bad guy. Anybody who would be calling United States out for its evil support of the Zionist state of Israel is a bad guy. They are the word terrorist, must be held accountable by United States, its people, its government, and they must be labeled with this kind of labels, terrorists, and there should not be any argument about that. How pathetic. These people who should be held accountable instead, not the people of Gaza or UNRWA or UN. Only people who should be held accountable are those working in the Congress with AIPAC money, receiving millions of dollars in aid and donation from the Zionist lobby. They are the one who should be held accountable right now. This is the number one priority for all of us, for humanity, to hold these killers accountable. But of course, they receive money. Of course, they have to save their life from going to prison. So what they do, they flip the script. They demand that no, UNRWA, UN, they must be held accountable, not us. We are the innocent people. We are the beacon of hope for the humanity. This speech was something else. But from this person, she works for The Hill. Hill is a newspaper, or they also have a YouTube channel. Her name is Bri Bri Joy. That's what it says. She gave a lecture to a bunch of Zionists sitting there, and she was defending what Hamas was trying to accomplish in Gaza. Take a listen.
How do we get to a solution?
So I think that we have to not talk about Arabs as though they're somehow constitutionally different than Danes. I don't know why we would essentialize populations in that way. We have to be open to the idea
Danes don't
that
do
the people...
October 7th?
Wait a minute. Muslims didn't do October 7th.
Not since the Vikings, to be
Gazans
fair.
didn't do October 7th. And if you're adopting the worldview that everyone in Gaza, the 2.3 million people, are responsible, then you are very much in line with Netanyahu's right-wing government, who thinks that and therefore thinks it's appropriate to violate international law by doing collective punishment on the population, literally starving them to death, having them on the brink of famine, killing 13,000 kids. There was a very passionate description of the graphic reality of October 7th at the beginning.
Okay, so her name is Brianna or something. Look at those Zionists sitting there. They are getting panicked. They cannot take it anymore. Every time you speak the truth on the face of the Zionists, they cannot handle the truth. It is like a frog in a hot pot. That's how they react, and they become hysterical. Wait for a second.
The answer is...
You're not answering my question.
I'll answer the question.
Go.
I'm sorry, I do feel like a lot of responses...
20 more seconds.
Okay.
20 more seconds. The solution, please. Go.
So there has to be a one-state solution, which means that there cannot... When Hamas is talking about eliminating Israel, it's talking about not killing all of the Jews. It's about eliminating the idea.
Okay.
It's about...
Leave it there. We'll leave it there. Brianna, we'll leave it there.
It's about... Let me just finish, sir. Can I just finish the sentence? It's about eliminating the idea...
Look at that fat monster. He could not stop. He couldn't help himself. That's how hysterical, that's how lunatic they become. That's how they lose themselves when you speak the truth in front of them, especially coming from a woman, black woman, because these are white supremacists. I have no doubt, a lot of them are white supremacists. And so getting a lecture from a black woman, and all Gaza, it is too much for them to handle. Now let's talk about this ghost in Beit Hanoun. So Hamas commander Hussein Fayyad, whom the Israeli military claimed to have killed last May, has appeared in a newly surfaced video, according to Palestinian media outlet. The footage, widely shared on social media on Wednesday, shows a man resembling Fayyad speaking at a funeral in northern Gaza, standing amid the ruins of a bombed-out building, with a group of men listening. Fayyad is the commander of Hamas's Beit Hanoun battalion. Beit Hanoun was one of the first areas targeted by Israel in 2023. In his speech, he praised Gaza's resistance against Israel's military assault, saying, quote, "When the strong does not achieve its goals, it is defeated. But the weak, which prevented the strong from achieving its goals, it is the victor." He also dismissed Israel's offensive as futile. Now, who is this guy? This is the ghost you can see on the screen. I'm not going to be holding him on the screen for too long because for some reason the Zion Tube will demonetize my video. They have already banned me from YouTube for 1 week. If you do not know, that happened last October. They are shadow banning. I spoke to them. I said, you guys are why you are shadow banning my channel? They said, oh, we're not doing it. But what happened to those comments? A lot of you are leaving comments, but they get disappeared, and you wonder what happened. So what happened is this: they just cut you off.